Okay, we are ready to start. First thing, I want to say thank you for being here today. My name is Ignacio Roda. I'm one of the co-founders of Mobincube. I'm based in San Francisco in the USA. So yeah, that's why we're choosing this time. Okay. So normally it's me who makes these webinars. Now we are starting some other series of webinars. But yeah, feel free to contact me in case if you are in this area or in this time range or something. Okay. So well, today we are talking about a very important update on Mobincube. Okay, you know that we have this powerful functionality for using databases in your apps of Mobincube, right? They used to be really powerful, but since last week they are even more powerful. Okay, because you know a lot of users for so many time they've been asking us if we could add some way to make it easier to work with databases. Okay, so we finally added this functionality that we call dynamic filters. Okay, so now you can make relations between databases. Okay, so I'm going to show you an example of how in the past you could create one app with some categories in the database. Okay, and you'll see how uncomfy it was. Okay, and then we'll see how we can do it today only with 2 screens. Okay, so let me share my screen. I think it should be this one. Okay, let me know if you see my screen, my Mobincube screen. Okay. Yes. Okay. Okay, so yeah, let's see this app. It's lineup for Sirius XM. Okay, it's only available in the US on Google Play, but if you want to try, I guess you can download it from here if you use this QR code. If in case you have an Android device, okay. It's also available for iOS, but only in the US. Okay, but well, basically this app is for browsing radio station channels. Okay. So it has like 400 channels and they are grouped by category. Okay, so let me show you the structure of this app. Okay, so basically we had this screen, menu, cats, extended. Okay, so here we have a menu where the user can select a music category. Okay, so all of these categories had links. You see, go to screen, links to other screens. Okay, for example, this button links to the screen called Cat Music Dance, and the other button calls to the screen Cat Music Hip Hop. Okay, so we have this complex structure. Okay, with so many screens, all of them are databases. Okay, all of them are the same type of screen. Let's click on one of them. Okay. They all use the same database. Well, in this case, it's on the cloud. Okay, but anyway, it's the same database for all of them. It's loading. Okay, you see, there are like almost 400 items. Okay, but it's the same database for all those screens. Okay. The thing is that each one of those screens has a different filter. Okay, in this case, the filter says that category equals the word music. And filter number 2, the genre equals pop. Okay, if I go to a different screen, for example, this music rock, it has 2 filters. First one, category equals music, and genre equals rock. Okay, so it's always the same database. It's always a similar screen with the same content. In this case, only a list view. Okay, but always the same. Okay, the thing with this app is, if in the past, if you wanted to create categories, you had to design one database screen, and then you have to make multiple copies of that screen, okay, and add different filters for each one of those screens, okay? So it was okay. I mean, you could create nice apps with that, but if you try to do that, you know that it's too much work, okay? Yeah, it was too much work to create the first version, but it was also too much work in case you found out that you wanted to make some changes in the design. Okay, for example, if now I realize that I want this channel number like bigger, I can change here the size of the font. Okay, but then I have to go through all these maybe 20 screens or 30 screens, okay, and change everything one by one. Okay, the QR, sorry, here's the QR. Okay, so it was too much work for creating apps and too much work for updating apps. Okay, so we didn't have any way to cross data between databases. Okay, so yeah, with the new functionality that we launched like last week or 2 weeks ago, now you can do this type of apps only with with two screens. Okay, so today we are going to see how to do that. Okay. Okay, so let's go to this account. I'm starting a new app. This is the first screen. Okay, I'm going to choose database. And first, I'm going to need one screen to select the category. And then I will only need one screen to show the data. Okay, and we will use a dynamic filter. Okay, because, well, the thing is that, as a reminder, in filters in the past, basically for creating a filter, you selected a field in the database, an operation like include, equal, or starts with, and then a static value. You could enter text here, but that text could only be like a static value, okay? So the new thing is that you are going to be able to add like dynamic values. Okay, let's see how we do it. So first, we're going to create one database called categories. We can add like one column or more columns. Okay, but in this case, I'm going to use only one. Sorry for these notifications. Okay, I will call it name. It's going to be a text. I don't know what is happening. The screen does not come exactly. Oh, you don't see my screen now? It's okay for some. Well, if it's okay for some of you, then it's not my connection. Maybe it's some trouble in those who don't see my screen. Okay. Okay. I know that my connection is not like the best connection in San Francisco. Okay. Okay, let's keep going. So now I created this first screen called, well, I'm going to change the name, category menu. Okay, I'm going to add some data. All the options on the menu. I can use like pop, rock, or sports, for example. Okay. Then these are all the categories that I want in this app. It's not going to be the same app. I'm going to do just a really simple app just to show you how it works. Okay. Is it not for iOS? I think it should be for iOS. Or if it's not available yet on iOS, I guess it will be like really soon. Okay, maybe they are working on it. Okay, like maybe this week or next week. Okay. Okay, and then I'm going to use only 3 categories in this case. Okay, no filters. Then I will add a list view. And then, for example, a table with a gradient. Let's make this one smaller. Okay, then I will add some separator, no line, and then the name of the category. Okay, like bigger, and then another separator. Okay, so I have my list here, and as you know, on the data view screens, if you add a list view, okay, I mean the database can have like multiple items, okay, but if you put all of them on a list view, then every line will have data from each one of the items, okay? So if the user clicks on one item, then that item will become the selected item, okay? So that's the way Mobincube knows which item is selected on the database, okay? So this is important because we'll see what will happen in the second screen, okay? Now I have this simple menu, okay? Just a list view showing all the items in this database with categories. Okay, so now I'm going to create a new screen. I mean, this button will link with a different screen. Okay, so I'm going to create a new screen. It's going to be called data, for example. Okay. So now I have two screens. Let's edit the second one. And the second one is going to be also a data view. Okay, and then let's call it stations, for example. Okay, and we will have, let's add 3 fields. Okay, you can have as many as you want, you know, like number, name, and category. Okay, we use X data always. I mean, you can use whatever columns you want and data types. Okay, but in this case, I'm going to keep simple. Okay, so well, now I'm going to add some items in this second database, like channel number 1, Elvis, music, and category rock. And number 2, I don't know, heavy metal music and category rock. And I will add into music category pop and Giants category sports and the edit channel sports and for example okay, so I have 2 items per category. That's enough for this example. Okay, then let's add a simple view, a list view as well. Well, I can add a table, okay, and then I will put the station number here and the name of the station here, for example. Okay. Okay, so this is my list. Okay, this should show the channels. Okay, and now the important thing, the new thing. Okay, it's the dynamic filters. So they are added the same way. You just click here to add a new filter. I add a condition, okay, and then I say I want to filter by category. So I select the field category, okay, and I can say include, equal, or starts with. I guess I can use equal in this case. Okay, and this here is the new thing. Okay, now you don't need to add only static values. I mean, a reminder, in the past you could only write text, okay, or numbers, okay, but always static numbers. Okay, but now we can add references to other values in the app, okay? And there are two types of dynamic values now, okay? If you don't know how to use them, you can use this button called compositor, okay? Oh, sorry, I'm using a low resolution so that the video recording of the webinar is good, okay? Oh, but it seems it's below this box. So, well, anyway, if you use a higher resolution, this shouldn't happen, okay? Okay, but the thing is that if you use the compositor, you see two main categories. The first one is collections, and the second one is variables, okay? You know that, well, a collection is a database, okay? We call them collections, but it's a database in your app, okay? And then variables are those values that the phone can provide, okay? Like the location of the device, language, screen size, country, well, all these values, okay, that you can get from the phone, okay, and use in your app, okay? Sorry for this scrolling. So here you can filter, okay, you can say if the category equals something, and that something can be the selected item in the previous database, okay? So we have two databases in this app. The first one was called categories, and the second one was called stations, okay? If you see here, we have all of them, okay? We don't only have the collection, we also have all the columns in those collections, okay? So if I select one, for example, the first one says categories dot name, okay, and it's between parentheses, okay. This means a reference, okay. If I select it, then I see here a text between parentheses that says categories dot name. So I'm telling the app that I want to filter by field category, but only for those items that equal the name or the content on the column name of the database categories. Okay, so I click accept, and that's all, right? So now I only have two screens in this app. I can make, I'm going to publish it, so that then we will be able to test it. Okay, so for those of you who have an Android phone, you will see the, or if you don't, I will use my webcam and show you on the phone, okay? Okay. Well, it will take like 3 minutes, okay? In the meantime, I'm going to keep explaining about databases. Well, I'm also going to look for the other app. When you choose location, okay, let me read this question. When you choose location, for example, will it, because of this, activate location permission? Yes, I think in new Android versions, it will ask you for permission. Or maybe not. No, maybe location is not always asked because we include the permission. Okay. Because I think ad banners also use location, and the phone is not asking for permission because we include the permission there. Okay. Okay, I have this. Let me show you first with my webcam. Okay, I'm going to show you the previous app, the serious one. Okay, I click start. There's one app. Okay, and I have this menu by category. Okay, so here we have all the options, and if I select one, I see all the items in the database. Okay, so all of these screens are the same. I mean, not the same screen, but they are like copies of the same screen. Each one of them have a different filter. Okay, so yeah, it was. I mean, the app was really good. The content was really good, and this app is making good money, like $300 a month, something like that. But now, if I want to change, for example, the color of this box, I have to change it in 30 different screens. Okay, so that's a pain. Okay, so now we'll see what happens in the app that we are building. Okay, so let's go back to the data. Let me turn off the camera. Okay, can you still hear me? Because every time I use the camera, then the mic goes. Yeah? Okay, thanks. Okay, let's go back to the filter. So you can use any reference to any column on any database you are using, okay? And it will use the selected item on that database, okay? And we'll see the results once it's published, okay? But you can also use variables, okay? For example, we have this one, country, okay? So you can create one database. Imagine that you want to show like the best restaurants in the world, and you want to filter by country, okay? You don't need to create, well, if you want to make a selection of country, but in case you want to show only the ones in the country where the user is located, okay? You can add one screen, add all the restaurants, and then create a filter and say, okay, I want the country equal, and use the variable called country between curly brackets, okay? So this will take the country from the phone, okay? The phone provides that info, okay? And the app can take it, okay? So it will filter using some data from the phone, okay? Or imagine that you have a database of things in different languages, okay? Like English, Spanish, and Italian. Okay, but you want only to show info in the language of the person that is browsing the app. Okay, then you can filter by language, and this will take the language of the device. Okay, so yeah, this is really, really powerful. Okay, because you'll see that now. Let's see if it's published. Yeah, it's okay. I'm going to install it. If you have an Android phone, you can do the same if you want. Give me some seconds, okay? Yeah, I think since we've done some changes on the apps, I'm not sure if they updated the emulator. Or anyway, I'm going to show you my camera. So. Okay. Hold on. It's downloading. Okay. So I'm installing. Well, I hope it works the first attempt. So here I have my first screen, okay? Are you watching only my camera or also my screen? Okay, because I'll go back to edit. Are you watching camera and screen? Okay, so, okay, let's go to edition so that I can show you the screen in both. It's loading. My connection is really slow today. Okay, so here's my first screen, the categories selection. Remember that I had 3 items on the database: pop, rock, and sports. And then I just had a list, okay, showing the name of the category. Okay, so if I select one, then it will go to the second screen, to the data screen. Okay, I'm going to select rock. Oh, there's an advertisement, sorry. Okay, well, hold on like 3 more seconds. I will skip it. Okay, you see now? I'm in the second screen, and it's showing only the items that have the category rock. Okay, so let's see. I'm now in the stations. I had 2 items: Elvis music and heavy metal music with rock. I'm going to go back, and now I'm going to select a different one, sports. And it goes to the same screen, but since the filter is dynamic, it changes the items. Okay, so now I'm watching only the sports channels. Okay, and I can do the same for pop. Okay, and YouTube music and the Beatles. Okay, so you see how powerful this is. So now I can only use 2 screens. In the same place where I used to use 30 screens, now I can use only 2 screens. Okay, so this is a really time-saving thing. Okay, let me stop the screen. I'm in the camera. Okay, so basically this is it. Well, we can do more things with this. Okay, let me show you. Well, we can use these references in filters, but the good thing is that we can also use those references in other places. Okay, normally in the past you were able to use references to variables in parameters of your actions. Okay, you could open a URL and use some data from the phone, like the language or things like that. Okay, and even you could use database information in your URLs. Okay, but it was only in case you were on a data view screen, and in those cases you could only use data from the database that was opened. Okay, but now we can, for example, open URL. We have the compositor now also as in all the parameters in the app. Well, not on all of them, but it will be available like next week. Okay, but now in data view screens you can use the compositor here. Okay, for example, in case you are using like HTTP my server plus script.php and just use parameters like length equal, you could use, for example, language. Oh, it changes. Oh, sorry, there's something. This is a bug. We will fix it. Okay, you could use something like that. I mean, you don't really need to use the compositor. I mean, if you know the value, you can also write it like this. I think it's not my computer. Yes, froze. Oh, can you hear me? I think my yes. Okay, I think my Chrome window just froze. Okay, I'm going to refresh. Sorry for that. Well, yeah, the thing is that you can use the compositor now in the parameters. Okay, but I'm not sure if you saw that I could only access database columns that from the same database that is linked to this screen. Okay, that's going to change like in some days. Okay, maybe next week. So you will be able. I don't know what's happening. Maybe I lost the session. Let's start again. Or maybe our server is down. Can you access Mobincube? Something's wrong. Yeah. Have you tried accessing Mobincube? Is it? Yes, you have access. Maybe it's only my problem. No, okay, no. Well, lately I'm having a lot of trouble with my computer. Let's log in again. Okay, yeah, the thing is that you will be able to use, I think next week, data from databases, not only in the database screen, but also in other screens, like in parameters of your actions, and also in the content of a text element. Okay, and that's going to be really cool. Okay, because now imagine that if you want to use or combine some static text with information from the database, okay, you have to add different text elements, right? One with the static text, then another one with the text from the database, okay? So let me give you some info in advance. Let's go to here, or let's create a detail screen, detail view, sorry. Okay, so one thing that you will be able to do next week, and this I'm telling you this as an exclusive premiere. Okay, you have this text. So instead of adding one text and then one field from the database, you will be able to do something like, hey, this is the station called, and you will be able to do this station dot name. Okay, happy to see you, for example. Okay, so you will be able to do things like this. Okay, so this will be replaced with the content of the database. Okay, so that's going to be really cool. Okay, because you are going to be able to do really cool things with your apps. Okay, and save time. Okay, the important. I mean, some of these things, you were able to do similar things in the past or get similar results. Okay, but that needed more time, like adding more elements and that stuff, right? So now we want you to save a lot of time. Okay, so with this, all these new dynamic things, okay, you will be able to create the same apps or even better apps in less time. Okay, so yeah, so basically that's it. I mean, that's all the new things. Okay, well, yeah, one thing. I was explaining when it froze that you can use actions like open URL. But here in the compositor, now I'm only accessing the fields or the columns in the database that is linked to this screen. Okay, I mean the data screen. Okay, so that's going to change as well. Okay, I think it was going to be this week. Maybe tomorrow. I'm not sure. I think it's going to be tomorrow, but don't take it for granted. But I think it's going to be tomorrow. But from really soon, you will be able to access also columns in other databases, as we did in the filters. Okay, so you will see here all the different columns on all the different databases. Okay, so yeah, so basically this is it. This is what we wanted to explain today. I know this webinar is much shorter than usual. Okay, I'm happy for that as well. So now we have plenty of time in case you want to make questions. Okay, I hope you learned, and I hope you find it really useful. Okay, especially if you created apps with databases in the past, then I guess this is going to make you really happy. Okay. Thank you, Fernando. Can you use Mobincube? What's that? Mobincube. Sorry, I don't know what Mobincube is. Your Android anywhere? Booster mode. It's for sharing my screen or share your photos and videos on your screen. As your. Okay. I guess I'll have to install things and set up. Maybe for the next webinar. I was trying to use Visor, but then my subscription expired, so I wasn't able to use it today. But I use the webcam, so I guess that's almost the same. Or do I just need to enter some URL here? Or well, maybe. Appetizer or appetize, I think it's called. No, it's appetize. Maybe I can use only a URL here. I'm not sure. Oh no, I have to upload the file. No, I cannot do it today. But for the next webinar, I will try this Mobincube thing. Okay. Okay. Next question is the assumption true that you could access the data from multiple? Yes, I'm not sure if our team tested that, but yeah, you will be able to use it. If it's not available yet, I will report it as a bug, okay, and that will be available, okay. Well, for all of you who don't know, you know that you can use local webs inside your app, like adding your own HTML and JavaScript code inside your app, okay, and you can get some variables from the web or from the HTML file, okay. Well, we did another webinar, we will do more, okay, but yeah, you can collect data from variables like language, country, and those things from there, from inside the HTML code, okay. So you will be able to do the same. You will be able to collect data from databases, okay, from this HTML local web, okay. Yeah, that should be available. If it's not, it will be really soon, okay. If you have in one column, thank you, Sunny. If you have in one column a day and in other column events, how can I show everyday events? What's today? Well, you can use, if you have in your database one column and you use date. Okay, in case you have like different or some items with the same date, you can use, oh, not a filter, sorry. A calendar view, okay? If you use a calendar view, you can select a day, and it will have like a small list view below the date selector, okay? And in that list will show only those items that use that date. Let me create one. So for the calendar view, you select one column that includes the date you want to filter by. Okay, so yeah, it will show date selector, and then you will see a list of all the items for that date. Is it possible to schedule an information of database? I'm not sure if I understood that question. What do you mean with scheduling information of the database? Yeah. Example, start Monday and finish on Saturday. Like a filter? Okay, thank you, Sonny. It was a pleasure to see you again. See you next time. Yeah, well, regarding filters with date range, I think you can do it. You can add a filter that says column 1, which is a data type. You can use more than and then some value. 2016. You have to use year, then month, then day. And add another filter that says column 1 less than 2016 January 31. Okay, so in this case you can like show only data from one day to another. Is that what you were asking? Mm-hmm. Okay, next question. Will it be possible to use my SQL sentences in the future? Maybe. Well, the thing is that we want to improve. I mean, we want to keep improving databases. So next steps in the future will be letting the user edit the info in the database. Okay, so people will be able to save data on the database. Okay, even save files or take pictures from the camera and save them in the database and things like that. Okay, thanks, Pedro. So that's going to be one of the next steps. Okay, and yeah, we also want to integrate, not only use SQL database, but we want also to integrate with other types of databases, especially like backends as a service. Like, I guess we will start using Firebase. I'm not sure if you know it. Let me. Okay. Well, this one's from Google. Well, I'm not sure if Google bought Firebase or they have an agreement or something, but Google is like pushing Firebase a lot. Okay. So we will integrate. This is not a database, but it uses databases. Okay, it's something like parse.com or mobac.com. It's like a backend as a service. Okay, for that people who are not like really skilled developers, they can use a backend. So they provide all the infrastructure and everything to make it simple. Okay, so yeah, we will integrate with Firebase, and when we do that, maybe we start letting you add some SQL or similar things. Okay, it will take some time. I mean, it's not going to be for the next month, but maybe during this year. Okay, this year we are going to work a lot in making a lot of improvements in Mobincube. Okay, the biggest improvement will be the interface. We are going to change all the interface of Mobincube. It's going to be really cool. Okay, more intuitive, and you will save a lot of time. You will be able to do a lot of good stuff like moving elements from one screen to another, things like that. It's going to be really cool. Okay, and we want to also improve the functionality. Okay, so that you can create apps that really interact with the user. Okay, so people can take pictures, upload them, comment, things like that. Okay, it's going to be really, really cool. Okay, the same question, or next question. Okay, same question of filter every day for today. Is it possible in a detailed view? Well, yeah, filters are for databases. Okay, and once the information is filtered, then you can use a detail view, a list view, or any type of view. Okay, yeah, the social login is one of the next functionalities as well. Okay, we are working on that as well. Okay, so I'll try it. Okay, yeah, not sure if it will take 1 month or maybe a little bit more, but yeah, definitely social login, not only Facebook, but also maybe Google, Twitter. Okay, we want to include it in the apps really, really soon. Okay, so I think this is probably the next or the next after the next thing that we are going to use. Okay, Facebook login. Getaways, what do you mean with that? Can you elaborate that question, please? For social login, or you mean if you can use it somehow? Can you show me? But you mean now? If I can share it now in Mobizen? I'm scared of installing things during the webinar because my computer is really fragile. So I'm afraid that maybe if I install Mobizen now, then my computer will be, yeah, for the next webinar I'll try it for sure. Yeah. Yeah, I'll do it. Okay, any more questions? Well, even if your questions are not related with databases or dynamic filters, you can use this time to make me questions, okay? I can stay here for some time. By the way, yesterday I wrote a blog post on blog.mobincube.com that it's really interesting, okay? Because I'm not sure if you all know about the new integration that we released like 2 months ago, and the CleverTab integration, okay? Well, first, let me answer this question. Started package can use, yeah, this functionality is available even for the free version, okay? Yeah, dynamic filters and all of that, okay? Normally, all the functionalities of Mobincube are available for every plan, even for the free plan, okay? The only exception is or will be all of these functionalities that require some external SDK, okay? For example, I was talking about CleverTab, which is a marketing engagement and analytics platform, okay? Or in case you want to send segmented push notifications or email campaigns to your users, you can use CleverTab. Okay, it's free. You can use CleverTab for free if your app doesn't have like a huge amount of users. But if your app has less than 50,000 users, then CleverTab is free. Okay, but the integration with CleverTab is only available in our advanced plan. Okay, but it can really help you to make more money or to make more downloads or to engage your users. Okay, because with CleverTab, you will take information of your users, you will track all the activity of your users in your app, okay, and then you can create segments of users based on that activity, okay. So if one user opens your app like five times, then you can know, okay, and you can push or send a push notification to that user if they open your app 5 times, okay? So we have realized that app reviews are going down, okay? Some users are getting worse reviews, okay? So yeah, and Google last week during the Google I/O, they put that statistic that says that one app that makes like 2.9 rating, and then if the same app goes to 3.1, okay, the same app can make like, I think it was like 9 times more downloads. Okay, so it's a big difference, like having 2.9 or having 3.1. I'm talking about the rating of your app, the reviews. Okay, that's a big difference. And if you go from 3.5 to 4.1, then you can make much more money, much more downloads. Okay, so there's a really good way to make that. Okay, if you send reminders to your users so that they rate your app, okay, it's a good idea. But the thing is that if you pop up a reminder in your app, then all the users will see that reminder, okay? And of course, there will be users unhappy with your app. So if you post a reminder and they are unhappy, they will give you 1 star, okay? So you should only pop up those reminders to your happy users, okay? And that you can control that with Mobincube, okay? Okay, Jesus, thank you. Okay, with CleverTab, you can control that because you can track activity, okay, and you can send emails or in-app messaging only to users, for example, who open your app 5 times, okay? If they open your app 5 times, it's because they are happy with your app, okay? So with CleverTab, you can do that. You can, in the moment when the user opens the app, okay, you can make the app to pop up a reminder, okay, to tell them to rate your app and give you 5 stars, okay? And if you do that, then you will start getting like better reviews, okay? And then you will start making more and more downloads and more money, okay? So it's really important, okay? Please read the article. It explains what I explained, but maybe if you read it, you will get a better idea, okay? But you can make much more money if you improve the rating of your apps. Okay, so I think it's worth it to go premium on Mobincube to the advanced plan and use CleverTap. Okay, you can also engage your users. Okay, you can send them push notifications in case they don't open the app for 1 week. You can make CleverTap to send a push notification automatically to those users who don't open your app in 5 days or in 1 week, things like that. So that makes reminders to people, and they will use your app again. Okay, so you will make more money. Okay, so it's totally worth it to use CleverTap. Okay. Can you send this tutorial to YouTube? Yeah, it will be available in YouTube. Well, in case the recording is good, we're recording it. Okay, so if the recording is good, we will publish on YouTube. Okay, and if not, at least it will be available here on BigMarker. You can go to bigmarker.com/Mobincube, and yeah, you will see all the conferences, all the webinars there, and you can select this one. It will be available probably tomorrow. It normally requires like 24 hours. Okay, so yeah, tomorrow you will be able to see the webinar. About push, can you talk about any news, please? Yeah, well, that was the biggest news, the CleverTap platform. Do you know about it? It's amazing. I mean, it's the best marketing platform for apps that I've ever used. Okay, this platform, now you can use it in your apps of Mobincube in the standard plan. Okay, so with CleverTap, you can send advanced push notifications. You can schedule push notifications. You can make triggers in your app. Okay, so if the user does something, then send a push notification automatically. You can create smart campaigns like reminders. You can send emails. You can send in-app notifications. They are like pop-ups in the app. Okay, and you can control everything from the dashboard. So it's amazing. And they even have an API, so you can use or you can send push notification in case you have some platform or some website and you want to program events from your website. You can also use the API of CleverTap to send push notification. It's amazing, really. Okay, I really recommend to use it in case you want to engage your users. We made a webinar about CleverTap. It was in Spanish, like 2 weeks ago. I guess, not sure if next week I'll be available, but yeah, I will try next week or the week after to offer a webinar in English about CleverTap. It's really, really powerful. Okay. Okay. Any more questions? Yeah, sure. I mean, I see a lot of Spanish-speaking people here, so I really recommend to see that webinar. In case you didn't, okay, I really recommend it. I'm not sure if it's in YouTube. Let me check. Webinars. Yeah, I think it's here. Yeah, it's called Push Avanzado con CleverTap. Yeah, this one. If you speak Spanish, I really recommend to take a look at this one. Okay. And we will do the same in English, maybe next week or in 2 weeks. Okay. Maybe next Tuesday is good for me. Okay, I'll try. Brazil Olympic Games. I wish that. Okay, any more questions? Oh, by the way, I didn't do all the introductions. I didn't talk about Salih. Okay, he's our country manager for Turkey. Okay, so in case some of you here or someone watching the recording of this webinar is from Turkey, you can always talk with Salih. Okay, and he can explain anything you want to know in your time. Okay, in your time range. Okay. Sweden? What about Sweden? No, not yet. I mean, we have offices in Spain, in the US, in San Francisco, then we have Poland, and we have Turkey. I hope in the future we can have more offices, maybe in China, or is it? Okay, yeah, we will study it. Well, I'm sure we don't have any plans for this year to localize our interface to Swedish, because I guess everyone speaks English there, and they are really good at English. So, yeah, but maybe someday we decide to have an office for the Nordic countries. Okay, so yeah, Sweden can be nice, but yeah, we have to keep growing first. Okay, any more questions? Well, I think I'm going to stop recording. Okay, so if you want to keep doing questions, it's okay for me, but I will not record them. Okay, so yeah, let's say thank you to all the people who was watching the recording. Okay, and see you in the next webinar.